Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tyra Omilade, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self realization and self mastery. Today is January the 16th, and I want to share with you all wisdom for the upcoming new moon in Leo. We could say that's the 20th or the 21st, just depending on what time zone you're born in. For those of us Central, Mountain, and Pacific, it is the 20th. And for Eastern time zone, it is the 21st because it's right at midnight, right after midnight. But, wherever you live in the world, I think most of the people that watch are here in the United States. So that's why I'm sort of focused on our time zones. Anywho, just want to share some wisdom with you all, just because I think this is such a special full moon. First of all, it's the second one of this month. It's at the beginning of the year. And I'm finding for me, the eclipses that come at the beginning of the year are very impactful. They really and truly set a huge theme. This one is also important because it is the last eclipse that we're experiencing between Aquarius and Leo. So we are coming to a time of ending this phase of eclipses. Eclipses oftentimes are connected to getting us more in alignment with fated events. Fated events may happen around eclipses. Of course, a lot of this sort of depends on what's going on in your chart. Is this a house that has planets or, any, especially personal planets, which would be the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. If you have a planet in a house where there's an eclipse, that's going to be very impactful for you. If your ascendant sign is in the house of eclipse. So this year, people who are Leo rising, and you have to know your time of birth to know what your ascendant sign is. So if your ascendant or rising sign is another way we say it is Leo or Aquarius, you've had an interesting 2 years, the year and a half. It was 2017 that we first started having these wild eclipses. To me, the one in 2017, there was a full lunar solar eclipse. Oh my God, that was amazing to actually see it. It was incredible. So people with Aquarius and Leo energy, especially if you're rising, you've probably experienced a lot of transformation. If you have planets in Leo, such as the sun or the moon, you probably have experienced a lot of transformation. Heads up, for those with Cancer and Capricorn energy, this is your time. This is your time. Now, this is what I want to tell you. You may have 4 planets in Capricorn or 4 planets in Cancer, and it may not be your sun. So look at your chart. Even if you don't have your time of birth, you can see where these planets are because they were where they were on the day you were born. Look and see, do you have planets there? Because it really creates a greater shift. This is something that I'm learning. I will say, for me, as somebody who has aligned herself with the moon, I'm born, if we take this astrological energy out, I'm into Ifa world, say for instance. I'm a priestess of Yemonja. So the moon means a lot to me as a priestess of Yemonja. So I really and truly, I don't have planets in Leo or Aquarius, but these have been exceedingly impactful. Astrologers will tell you everybody has Leo and Aquarius somewhere in their chart. And so you will feel the energy affect you in that area of life. You'll feel it the most in that particular area of life. So I embrace that these eclipses, they can bring about big changes. And of course, when we use um, that key to self mastery called awareness, then we can make sure that we go with the changes that are happening. So, for instance, well, it's almost like gets raised up in you. You sort of have that propensity. Leo is my 10th house from my ascendant. And though I don't have any planets in Leo, I knew there was going to be a change for my career. There was going to be some change in my career house, my status, something like that. And I just remember feeling like I want to upgrade. I feel like I'm at this age now and this is what I should be doing. This is what I noticed about myself. Now, if I wasn't aware that this was going on, I could have told myself, why are you acting so arrogant? Well, Leo is about being confident. Where have we felt like I want to feel more confident? I'm feeling more confident. And did we shut ourselves down? If we know that this is the energy that we're working with right now, that's the direction we should be going in, then we don't shut this thing down. We don't let this worldly thing of don't be this way, don't be that way, shut it down. We don't let the distractions of life shut it down. Okay. So I'm just saying the biggest changes came for those who were they have a lot of Leo, Aquarius energy, and now everyone who has a lot of Cancerian and Capricorn energy, this is your time. This is your time. This is your time. But we all are going to be feeling the effects of these eclipses. And so this one is the last one on the Leo Aquarius axis. And what I began to think about is how Leo is about our creative genius. It's that fifth house energy. It's all about our creative genius. And Leo rules the heart. And it's all about living from the heart. And so what I wanted to ask everyone to take the time to really think about is, where were you called over this last year and a half to engage your creative genius more? How have you been able to get in touch with your creative genius more? And your creative genius looks different from other people's creative genius. Even if you have the same ascendant sign, that fifth house is going to manifest differently based on where planets are and all that kind of good stuff. This is so personal and unique to you, And I think that when we can get in touch with our creative genius, we are able to manifest more from a conscious place. When we operate from our creative genius, we feel so much joy. This is how we know we're in touch with the creative genius, because we're experiencing a high level of joy. It opens up a wellspring of just pure potentiality, that goodness, the abundance of life that resides within us. So this is what I have been led to share and ask you to consider during this upcoming full moon, because it's the full moon. We're looking at what's coming up, and I'm asking you look at what comes up, but you also take the time to bring up over the last year and a half, where have you stepped more fully or have been called more into your creative genius? So for me, I just, this social media thing that so I'll tell you this. When I first found Notes from the Universe, I don't even know. I've been getting emails from Notes from the Universe for so long. I have no idea when I first subscribed. Let's say it was around 2006. because that was when I watched The Secret, and that's when I found the person who creates the notes from the universe. So since 2006, I've been getting notes from the universe. And when you first sign up, there's like, you put in your name and maybe a goal that you have. And one of mine was to have an online business. And of course, I've been fumbling and thumping around and bumbling and trying to get this thing together. But it always sort of brings up, that goal that you have. It might be one or two goals that you have. And so this year, or since 2017, I've just been feeling like I'm up in my social media knowledge, my social media game, even though I have wasted so much time on social media to the point where I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot use social media for any other reason than just pure positive things, period. And so now, over this last year, I was not even expecting this. I am now doing social media for the nonprofit where I do all my dancing. I'm doing social media for them. And it all stemmed from me learning how to do social media for my classes, learning how to be socially savvy to build fitness classes. And this has now led me to doing social media as a part of my job for my nonprofit. But what I notice about it is I'm like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this. It's like so much fun sitting around saying, what cool way can I come up with explaining this particular thing? What can I say to move people to come and see this documentary that we're sharing? And just voraciously trying to learn, how do I do this social media thing so that I do this wonderful job for my nonprofit. I never saw this coming, right? But I'm so, just really connected. And I just think about how I established this goal all these years ago, having this online presence. And I'm doing it for my own self, but that is the one that sort of like got me like, wow. And it all just kind of came together in the last couple of months. So this creative genius, it makes you feel alive. You're just like, oh, and it's about opening up the inner abundance. It's about opening up, living from our heart center. This is what we're being called to do. Live from our heart center. So these are the things that we're wanting to really create ritual around, create time where we sit quietly and meditate on, where am I more in tune with this? Or where do I feel led? Because some people, may be a revelation, For those who had more life altering experiences, it may be that you now are like trying to figure out the new, like your life is totally different. You're trying to figure out the new and what this all means. And so this would be a good full moon for you to really just make yourself a blank slate so that you can receive, instruction from your creative genius. See, to me, creative genius, it is alive. It is wisdom. It has substance to it of some sort. I don't know how to explain it. I just know how it feels. It provides information. It provides information for you. The next step would be operating from that place. Operating from that place. I just made a video on where we're investing our energy, and I talked about how this culture or this world has an aspect to it that truly benefits off of us being mediocre. The creative genius is the exact opposite of that. It is like, no, you can't be mediocre because we have this to do, or we have this, that to do, And so the creative genius, whatever problem presents itself in your life, the creative genius comes through and it begins to share with you the next step, the direction that you're to take, the person that you're to talk to. It helps you to literally see the solution to the problem that is seemingly presenting itself. Creative expression, or the creative genius within us, is a path to self-realization, a path to self-mastery, to liberation and freedom. Okay? And you can't live in mediocrity when you allow your creative genius to come through. You cannot do it. You cannot, you're like, now I don't have time to do what the world says I'm supposed to do. I'm only going to do what this power that I feel within me is calling me to do. These are the things that we're wanting to be focused on now through the full moon. Beyond it, we feel just like the messaging is happening, you know, about 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. We're in the period that the astrologers call the time between the eclipses, because of course we had an eclipse on the 5th. And then the eclipses are typically in effect for about 6 months. We're feeling their effects. We're working with their energy. I'm just asking y'all to do it with awareness, to be conscious of it. That way you move yourself forward. Another reason I think this is such a beautiful gift at this time is we all are sort of like, okay, I've been given the gift of making it to 2019. The astrologers are saying that Jupiter is in Sagittarius. This is a time of, expansion, and it's a time of, greater abundance and goal setting, and just really feeling optimistic and positive, and being able to infuse that in a better time for us to be really like opening ourselves to a deeper relationship with our creative genius. What better time? It was just fascinating. I did the reading last week. Didn't think too much on it. I just saw what the oracles gave. But as time has passed, I got this message about the creative genius. So this morning when I opened up to look at what did I get from the oracle, I was like, oh, wow. The energy surrounding this full moon for us at this time is Geb positive, Heteru negative. Yes, Geb positive, Heteru negative. This is from the Metu Neter oracle, which is out of Egypt or Kemet. And Geb is all about abundance and prosperity. This is what this moon is about, I do believe, abundance and prosperity. So opening yourself up to a greater level of abundance. The question is, and even with this Het Haru negative speaking, the question is, where do you have lack in consciousness? So we have to go back and look at our programming to see, where's the seed of lack? I talked about, and maybe it was in the other video, how when we have emotions, these emotions get set in our bodies. These emotions get set in our bodies. They become programs by which we begin to live our lives. And so what we have to do is to see, is there some emotion that's set in us that needs to be released and healed up and replaced with, thoughts of wholeness and abundance, the truth of the reality of who and what you are, what we are. And so this is a time for people who feel a lack of anything in any way to begin to heal your abundance consciousness. It's the full moon. We're dealing with the energy of Yemoja in this full moon. Yemoja, Aset, Isis, the energy of the moon. This is the energy of the mother, she who nurtures. This is a time for us to see, bring in the healing waters of nurturance, of, when a child hurts themselves, they run to mama and she hugs them, she nurtures them. How can you nurture yourself to bring more healing into your abundance consciousness? And I encourage everyone to really, because this is a time of the ancestors. Every day is a day for the ancestors. Woo-hoo, ancestors. To send this energy out to the ancestors, especially if you know you have ancestors who have wounds. This is a time where you can send the healing out to the ancestors. And as we heal the ancestral matrices to which we belong, then it's an overall healing. Het Haru is about the law of attraction. Geb says you've got to know that what you need, you're going to get. So some people may be realizing they're getting what they've been wanting. They're seeing the fruits of their labor, the fruits of their conscious intention. That's why I made in the last video, what is your mind focused on? You say what you want, but are you focused on what you don't have more than heading in the direction of what you want? You will manifest based on where you're focusing your attention, your emotions. No matter what your actions do, it's that feeling and those thoughts. Wherever they're most focused, that's what you're going to get. Okay. But Geb is saying that some people are probably going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing what I've been working on over the last year and a half. And some people are needing to just open themselves up to receiving that which they want. But this Het Haru negative piece is saying that, okay, so the creative genius, I spoke about the joy and, raising up the creative genius. It's like maybe people are going to have some issues with really connecting with this inner creative genius. And this may be, related to limiting beliefs. It may be related to you're in a place where you're not supposed to be, and it has you blocked. So that's the thing that you want to look at. What's blocking your creative genius? That's how I'm looking at this Het Haru negative. This is also the energy of Oshun. What's blocking your inner Oshun? And typically, all you have to do is do something that makes you feel like really, as I like to say, for real, for real. For real, good. Not a Band-Aid feel good. Like sugar used to make me feel good all the time. I'd eat that sugar. Oh my gosh, but sugar was not good for me. I'm not talking about that. For me, it's something like dancing. Some people, they might want to go in and cook for somebody. Some people, they really feel so good when they go in and are of service in some kind of way, I don't know what it is for you, but if you feel blocked, you need to do something that you're like, I really love to do this. I feel so good when I do this. And it opens up your inner creative space. And it raises up the joy vibration. And as you raise up the joy vibration, you're able to actually just melt away some of the blockages. But also you're able to see, because the creative genius is now at work, you're able to see the solution to move past the block. One thing I do like telling people about the one warrior, I just love this warrior, Ogun, Herakahuti. This is also the energy of Mars, is when you feel you have a block, you call on Herakahuti. Herakahuti, remove this blockage. I'm asking for you to come through and remove this blockage from my life. With grace and ease, Ogun, remove this blockage from my life. Even if it's me. Remove the blockages that are inside of me, Herakahuti Ogun, with grace and ease. I always say with grace and ease. Help me to move, because typically the blockage is within. Even if it seems like something without, I'm finding it's within. Can't nothing stop us except for us, But sometimes we do have to send people on their way. So one of the things I like saying when I'm dealing with folks who I'm like, you know what? You got to go. Is I say, Ogun, and I got this from Baba Obafemi from OIDSI. I'm all about sharing everything I know, all that I get this from, because I love Baba Obafemi. Never met him a day in my life. But I just love watching his videos. He has a lot on the Odu. when he talked about Ogunda, which is the Ogun, the Odu that Ogun speaks to, he talked about remove, and this is me making, this is my way of saying it. He may not have said it this way, but I got this concept from him. Remove so-and-so as far from me as the east is from the west. Now, he did say this: if they even think about me on their day off, Ogun, get them away from me. Okay? No, we don't have to stay, we don't have to keep negative people in our lives. We do not have to keep negative people in our lives. So you can call on Ogun to help remove stuff and remove people, remove situations. And I always say, don't hurt them, Ogun. I don't want nobody hurt, but they're going to have to get up out of here. So yeah, you can call on Ogun to do that. But typically, when I really think about it, they were there because of me. So yeah, I take full responsibility for my life. I encourage you to do the same, because when you do so, nobody has power of your life. Which brings up Ish. This is the beauty of the oracles. I love the oracles. I'm gonna hold up Ish again. This is from Mayan Oracle, my Mayan Oracle. So Ish talks about having integrity. So we all need to make sure we have integrity. We need to be authentic. That's what that says. Whatever comes out of our mouth, that's what is reflective of inside of me. Have integrity. Say what you mean what you say. Don't say one thing, then do another. Don't be a hypocrite. Be real. Okay? And what this does, I'm just going to sort of read this because I just think this is so beautiful. First of all, and this is, I really see Leo as this kind of energy. I can't remember if I posted this video. I don't know. I've been making so many videos here lately, but I know I made a video. I may have just posted it in my Patreon community. No, I think I posted it here where I said, I'm tired of folks stereotyping people based on their zodiac sign. That's ridiculous. Leos get it bad. I actually used to just not really like Leos because of a Leo in my life. But now that I understand astrology, oh my God, I'm so grateful for Leo, because Leo is like, hey, y'all, we're going to make this thing happen. I really, it's related to our creative genius. So to a certain degree, this is like magical energy as I see it. And that's what Ish says. It says, receiving Ish indicates that magic is afoot. Every time I see Ish, I'm like, oh, it's going to be good. So it says, expand your vision to include the excitement of more magic in your life. Now, another thing that I relate to Leo is the energy of Shango Haru. And it's all about lining your will up with the highest will in your life. That's another way that we can sort of look at this Leo energy, especially during this eclipse. Is my will lined up with the highest will for my life? And if not, that's something for you to focus on, getting your will lined up with the highest will, because a lot of times the will that we have for our life is based on what the world says we can have. Well, I can have this, but I can't have that. I'm lined up with, they say I can get A, B, and C. No, I'm lining myself up with the highest will for my life. Some of us are fighting it. So maybe you need to work on accepting what your destiny is. Okay. So that's one of the things that Ish is about. This is what I'm saying. This Gab, this Haru, now this Ish, it all lines up with this theme of Leo. There was something else I wanted to look at. Oh, Ish reminds you to align your will with that of the divine and to look inside of you and not outside of you for answers. Through the lens of integrity, examine your motivations and actions. That's a good one. That's something you can do during this full moon. Examine your motivations and actions. Why are you doing what you're doing? because then you can say, well, really, is this what I want to do? Or, like, is this the right motivation? Why do I have this motivation? Maybe I need to get a different motivation. But you have to look at it with integrity. Like, okay, I'm going to be for real honest with myself about this thing. Think with your heart. Is that not Leo? Think with your heart. I can't remember what I read, but I remember something that talked about this right here really and truly is like the space from which it's really what is informing us, our heart chakra. So that's something I do want to encourage everyone to do, is maybe do some heart chakra work. You can infuse your heart chakra with light. If you don't know what the heart chakra is, then that might be something that you need to do during this moon. What is the heart chakra? Learn about the heart chakra. My friend, if you go to, I think it's Demi Yoga on Instagram, DEMI, Demi Yoga. Let me just double check and make sure. Oh, Demi Yoga Now, DEMIYOGANOW. You can go to her Instagram, and she's done a 21-day challenge that every pose that she did or is doing, because she's on day 16 today, is about opening the heart chakra. So that's another way you can do it. Using yoga, you want to open up the heart chakra. Really, anything that causes your arms to kind of come back here and that chest to be open, that's about opening the heart chakra. So you want to live according to your heart. You want to think with your heart. But this is your creative genius. You know, people say, oh, think with your head, not with your heart. Sometimes we actually do need to think with our head. Because whatever this heart thing is that we're doing, it's not heart. It's called, low level emotion. We're not getting this thing twisted. We're going to get clear about what it means to live with our heart. What it means to live with our heart means that we are following our higher self. Okay. We not thinking with low level emotion. Act as a torch bearer for the light. Allow yourself to be danced in divine innocence as a channel for the highest magic. Step into self-empowerment. This again is Leo. Leo's like gonna do this thing. Leo's the manager. Leo's competent and confident. When you align with that, which gives you joy, expressing your beauty and power, your energy naturally expands to include more of who and what you are. Nothing and no one outside of yourself can give you real power. That's what this is all about right now. Really operating from my power. Something I learned in astrology, that I've learned since I started studying astrology, is planets go invisible. And that's like a significant thing, especially right when they're going invisible or right when they're becoming visible again. And when they're going invisible and coming visible, it's their proximity to the sun, which never goes invisible. It never goes invisible. Even the moon has a dark phase, not the sun. What does the sun represent? It represents our inner light. It represents our authentic self. And we are seeking to excavate all parts of our, excavate all of the light within so that it shines. We are life archaeologists. I have a friend who is a PhD in archaeology. And so now I'm using a word to translate it over here in spirituality. We are life archaeologists. We are archaeologists of our own lives. We are excavating the light. Okay. And sometimes as we excavate the light, we excavate our gifts and our talents, and our power. Empower yourself by directly addressing the situation at hand. Act with integrity and magical outcomes will naturally blossom. To me, this is Oshun too. This Heteru piece. that is our creative genius from that particular tradition also. So y'all, come on, let's do this. Let's do this. So that's what I have for you all for this full moon in Leo. It's a time for us to really step into our abundance consciousness in a healthy way, to operate from our heart, align our will with the highest will for our lives, to really tap into our creative genius and the higher joy for our life. Um, and Yeah, to walk more confident, to walk in our power. That's what this year is all about, walking in our power. And our power source is, to me, this access that we have to the creative genius. So I hope that this is helpful to you all. Thank you all so much. My website is goddessbodymindspirit.com, and you can go there to request a reading. If you would like to learn more about my inner circle, they're at Patreon. It is patreon.com/goddessbodymindspirit. And so, yeah, you can just look at the different levels that I have and choose one. And there are things that I share only, in Patreon. And you'll have access to that once you join there. So thank you all so much. I am wishing you a great full moon. Everything I do is to help people be on the straight and narrow to their destiny. Specifically, right now, my goal is I really want everybody to have a great 2019. I just really want everybody to have a great 2019. So I hope and pray that this will help you in some kind of way. Thank you. Love you. Wishing you all the best. Peace.